Hi everyone, welcome back to Wrestling Fun with Father and Son. I'm Father Matt, and this is Son,
Guy.
and this is the week that was WWE. This is Raw, Raw 19th of the 8th, 2019. It was your birthday, wasn't it? And today is, as we're recording this on the 20th, is my birthday. So a couple of birthdays in the house. Anyway, started off with, the first thing was that Jerry the King Lawler was commentating. That's a big thing for later on. Yet Corey Graves is on vacation, so he was being replaced by Jerry. Roman Reigns was the first person to come out. They did a bit of a recap of what's been happening with Roman Reigns over the last few weeks with the same video about him being sort of nearly crushed and run over and all that. It's about the 50th time they showed this video, but anyway, it was what it is. His opponent, they had the first match, his opponent was Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler had put a post on Twitter where he'd called out, sort of a little bit called out of Roman Reigns, and proceeded then for Dolph Ziggler to have a promo before the match, a bit of a woe is me promo, and said that Roman Reigns was the big man and that it should be Dolph Ziggler, only for then him to do a super kick, a cheap shot on Roman Reigns, didn't he? Then they had a match. There was a nice little spot in this match with Ziggler and Roman Reigns with a counter. Roman Reigns went for the spear, only for then Dolph Ziggler to counter into a famouser, which I thought, I just put wow, it was a brilliant little counter. It really showed how good Dolph Ziggler really is, that counter. It really looked impressive as well. But it was Roman Reigns, didn't he? He got the win with a spear in the end, and beat Dolph Ziggler. There was a bit of a Becky Lynch interview to the camera next, backstage, saying about last week's Sasha Banks. Really anything about it, to be fair, I'm not really too bothered. Next we had the King's Court. They did say that the King's Court was going to have Sasha Banks on there as a guest to talk about that attack on Becky and Natalya, but basically it served as the King hyping up the King of the Ring tournament. The lights sort of flickered as sort of signalling the arrival of the Fiend. Jerry Lawler was on the mic. He sort of said, "Oh, I know what happens now. I'm getting out of the ring." He jumped out of the ring, backed up onto the ramp for the lights to go out, and then what happened?
Jerry King Lawler was on stage, and so was the Fiend.
Yep, the Fiend. Yep, that's it. And then the Fiend did what?
The mandible claw.
The mandible claw to Jerry and left Jerry laying out. So obviously then Jerry was off commentary, and they had another commentator. I can't remember what his name is. I'm not really up on it because I don't really watch 205 and NXT UK. I don't watch them, but it was the commentator from them. I think his name is Vic something.
Vic Joseph.
So yeah, the Fiend made another appearance. He hadn't appeared last week since SummerSlam, did he? Using the mandible claw, I don't know. I'm not really too sure how I feel about that move at the minute. I wish maybe they'd use something a bit more impactful, but you know, it is what it is. Next we had a tag team match. It was The Miz and Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre and a returning Baron Corbin. It was Ricochet who won with the recoil, obviously setting up their match at the King of the Ring next week. Sasha Banks, they were teased that she'd do a sit-down interview later on. Next, they did another Skype call with Booker T this time. Last week they did Stone Cold Steve Austin. This time it's Booker T, basically saying about the King of the Ring, because he did win the King of the Ring, became King Booker. That was it. Nothing to take away from that. Next, it was Strowman versus AJ Styles for the United States Championship, with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson accompanying AJ Styles. They quickly got interfered in this match. They quickly made their presence felt by causing a DQ, only for then Seth Rollins to make the save. Backstage, Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, they were basically, Seth Rollins was talking to Braun about the Universal title. He's saying, let's get done with the OC, then I'll give you the first shot. That's basically what he's saying. So they're hinting that they'll probably have a match later on down the line. And then he said he was going to go and make it, so that was Seth and Braun versus the OC, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, for the Raw Tag Team Championships later on in the night. Next, it was the King of the Ring's first round match, Samoa Joe versus Cesaro. Cesaro quickly out the gates, he did a really quick running flying elbow to Joe, and I just wrote the word impact. It really did. I don't know if they planned that or what, but that really, you can see, I don't know if Joe did not know that that was coming as hard as what it did, but you could see his neck snap back, and he really did take the full force of that elbow. That really did look quite vicious. It was Samoa Joe who managed to shake off the cobwebs, and he got the Kina clutch on Cesaro, and he now advances to the semi-finals of the King of the Ring. Next, Drake Maverick. They show a video of Drake Maverick trying to win the championship off Elias when he was in a sort of a recording studio. Tried to roll him up, couldn't, and then he sort of basically Elias escaped with the title. That then feeded into the next section where Elias was in the ring. I could tell his guitar was out of tune straight away. There were some technical difficulties and stuff like that, only for him to say, this guitar's out of tune, I want another one. He asked the stagehand in the ring to pass him another guitar. He sort of dropped it on the floor. He said, hand it to me, only for the lights to come back on and the guy to reveal himself to be
R-Truth.
R-Truth, yep. R-Truth tried 3 times to get the roll-up pin on Elias. He didn't. He kicked out every time. He tried to hit him with a guitar, only for Elias to roll out the ring, didn't he? And then he sort of ran away. Next, we had Rey Mysterio do a backstage interview where he was teasing retirement. He went to take off his mask to reveal. I don't know if that's something that they're going to do later on down the line when he actually does retire, because he didn't actually say he was going to retire here. They sort of teased it, only for Dominic to appear, his son, go through this thing about, you know, you said that I'd be able to debut in a tag team with you. I want to tell my grandkids this, and it looked like they are teasing this tag team match, and that Dominic is finally going to step into the ring, and he's probably going to be passed on the mask. Maybe the mask is going to be passed on to Dominic, and he's going to be Dominic Mysterio Jr. I don't know, something like that. And next, the New Day versus the Revival. This is a sort of comeback match from SmackDown last week. They kind of were going to have this match, only for then Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston to be added into this match. This match didn't really have a finish because somebody appeared from out of nowhere. Who was it?
Randy Orton did an RKO.
Yep, he did an RKO out of nowhere, only for then Kofi Kingston to come down to try and make the save for the other members of the New Day, for him to receive an RKO. Woods then came into the match and he kind of tried to help, only to get an RKO double slam, is what I called it, where both members of the Revival sort of picked up Xavier Woods over their shoulders, slammed into an RKO, and then they took...
that was amazing.
Yeah, that was quite a cool little spot. And the Revival took out Xavier Woods' legs by holding his leg and having a member of the Revival on the turnbuckle jump onto his legs, while Randy Orton was holding Kofi Kingston watching on. So I don't know if Xavier Woods is injured, or they're trying to say, you know, that was kind of the way I thought they were going, that maybe he's injured and that they're trying to write him out. Next, we had Sasha Banks' interview, where she didn't really answer any questions, being devilishly heelish, is what I can say, Kai. Saying about her blue hair, that was about it. Then they asked her some questions about why she did what she did. She didn't answer it, she just walked off. And I knew she was going to do that because I thought that's a very heel thing to do, and they all do that. They all walk off and don't answer any questions. Next, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross come out in a tag team match against Fire and Desire. Don't really call them Fire and Desire. They kind of just call them Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. But anyway, was what it was. Nikki Cross got the win. That was it. Next, it was another King of the Ring match. First round match, Cedric Alexander versus Sami Zayn. Cedric Alexander got the win, so he's now advanced. Then we saw another backstage sequence with the Street Profits. It actually said on the sort of bar at the bottom, NXT Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits. Whereas the trouble is, the power of the internet is we already know that they're not the actual title holders anymore. They actually lost them to Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, I think it is, on NXT in the recent tapings. So we know they're not the champions anymore. Next, it was Natalya doing a bit of a promo about Sasha Banks, only being attacked again by Sasha Banks backstage. And then we get into the main event. It was Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman versus the OC for the Raw Tag Team titles. Didn't take long for their AJ Styles, who was with them, to have his presence felt as well. They sort of helped eliminate sort of Braun Strowman halfway through the match, take him out, only for then Braun Strowman to absolutely run through AJ Styles at the very end of this match. It looked like AJ Styles was going to take out Seth Rollins, only for then Braun Strowman to sort of get back up and sort of run straight into him, take him out, and then it basically was Braun Strowman who did a power slam. AJ Styles was trying to get back in the ring. Seth Rollins did a curb stomp, and then Braun Strowman got the pin for the win. So we have new Raw Tag Team Championships.
And Seth Rollins is a double champ.
Yeah, we have new Raw Tag Team Champions. He is double champion again, and the OC didn't have the belts for very long. That is what it is. You know, they do keep this bit of a hot potato, this championship. But anyway, Raw, I don't think Raw was as good as it has been for the last couple of weeks. I would say it's kind of thumbs in the middle. It did say on Raw they were going to do a huge announcement, major announcement. They didn't do that. Again, that's WWE teasing an announcement that didn't happen. They can't do this to get you to watch it, and then they don't do it. So it's kind of dirty tactics with WWE. But oh well. We did think that was going to be the NXT announcement about they're going on to USA Network, but it hasn't come yet. Anyway, tonight SmackDown, Daniel Bryan is potentially going to reveal who has been attacking Roman Reigns, and he also has a match against Buddy Murphy. Anyway, we'll see you in the next video. So I'll say goodbye, and say goodbye, Kai.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.